The gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Gosar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's once again Liberation Day in Washington, D.C. Today we will take steps to end the lawlessness in our nation's capital. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the U.S. Constitution, also known as the Enclave Clause, established the District of Columbia as a seat of the federal government. Furthermore, under the Constitution's District Clause, Congress retains ultimate responsibility for the government of the District of Columbia. Very important. Yet in recent years, the D.C. Council has advanced a series of dangerous soft-on-crime measures to weaken law enforcement and ignore public safety. My bill, H.R. 5183, the District of Columbia Home Rule Improvement Act, will restore Congress's power over D.C. given to us by President Nixon and the Home Rule Act of 1973. This 1973 law created a review period giving Congress the ability to block bills in the federal district through a resolution in the House and the Senate signed by the President. My bill improves this process and mimics the Congressional Review Act that we all know and love. Now, H.R. 5183 makes simple fixes to improve Congress's oversight of D.C. It gives Congress a uniform 60 days to review D.C. laws. It provides expedited procedures for resolutions to pass both houses and avoid stalemates we've seen in the past. It establishes safeguards on D.C. emergency procedures by preventing the Council from extending emergency waivers of congressional review to pass non-emergency laws. It expands congressional review to line item provisions of D.C. laws, mayoral, executive orders, and regulations. It empowers every member of Congress with the same ability to move a resolution of disapproval out of the committee. It promotes efficient governance by preventing the D.C. Council from passing legislation similar to those that have already been repealed by Congress. And finally, it requires accountability from both the D.C. government and this committee through an annual report to Congress and hearing. Unfortunately, the D.C. Council has shown time and time again it cannot be trusted to put public safety first. In fact, Congress's oversight of D.C. Home Rule is not new. In 2023, Congress exercised its constitutional authority over D.C. laws to block an anti-police bill. Not surprisingly, bleeding heart Joe Biden vetoed the resolution. Back in 2015, the House passed another resolution to overturn a District of Columbia pro-abortion bill, but it died in the Senate after running out of time. My bill reflects long-standing conservative principles, upholding the Constitution, defending law and order, and ensuring that the federal government fulfills its duty to safeguard the nation's capital. We aren't here today at this hearing because D.C. reckless policies make our jobs inconvenient. We are here as friends, parents, and grandparents, in my case, to address violence in the city. Hardworking Americans should be able to visit our nation's capital without fear of harm. Interns and staff should be able to walk the streets of Washington, D.C. and feel safe from career violent criminals repeatedly set free. Clearly, the D.C. government recognizes it needed the President's help because it established a juvenile curfew and issued a mayoral executive order to facilitate a local federal police partnership. We need to do better and do a better job, and my bill is a solution. I look forward to working with the President, Chairman Comer, and my colleagues to fight back against this D.C. disorder. My bill, H.R. 5183, the District of Columbia Home Rule Improvement Act, acts on Congress's authority to update the Home Rule Act with common sense oversight abilities. I ask my colleagues to support for my bill, H.R. 5183, and I yield back the balance of my time.